Hi knitters, do you remember last time on the Debbie Bliss Winter Blanket knit along we made a beautiful heart using knit and pearls and a chart to give this really nice textured effect. Now we're going to work it in a star shape. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the star square. Now this one is so sweet. This is, remember the heart-shaped one that we did at the beginning of the KAL, where we used knit and purl to create a textured image within the stockinette or stocking stitch. And that's what we're doing again here with the star. Now, just for 1 second, I want to show you this square that I've done is not blocked. See how curly up that is. Let's show you one that is blocked. There we go. There's one that we're doing later on that is blocked, really nice and flat. Before you sew all your squares together, you need to block them, and we've got a blocking video on the channel that'll help you to do that. So just in case you thought, oh, why is that bumpy? It's bumpy because it's not blocked, but we'll show you how to do that a bit later on. So like all of the other squares, it begins with 4 rows of garter stitch to do a garter stitch ridge, and then the rest is worked in stockinette with a gorgeous garter stitch border that goes up the sides, 4 rows of garter stitch at the bottom, 4 rows of garter stitch at the top. So when you've done the 4 rows of garter stitch, which I have here, we've then got 2 rows of stockinette or stocking stitch to do, and we're working this chart, as I said before, with the heart. We're going from right to left on the right sides and from left to right on the wrong sides. And you can always tell because you've got the number here on the right hand side. If you've got a 1 there, that is row 1, and it's worked from right to left because the 1's over there. And on row 2, which is a wrong side row, from left to right. Now, these 2 rows are just plain stocking stitch or stockinette, and they've got the 3 stitches of garter stitch either side, which you can see here. So I've done the first 2 rows of this chart. So you can see there's the garter stitch border either side and the ridge at the bottom, and then 2 rows of stocking stitch. And the first row we're going to tackle together is row 3. Now it's a right side row, so we're over here on the right side. Now the key for this chart, which you may remember from the heart, is that where there's a blank square, it's a knit on the right side and a purl on the wrong side, as you would expect for stocking stitch or stockinette. But then where there's a little dash in the square, you reverse it. So for example, on row 3, which is a right side row, which is what we're about to do, we're going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 10th square here has got a dash in it, and that means it's a purl on the right side. So it's going to be a purl. And that is what creates this really lovely textural effect. So let's get started. So with the very first row with some action in it is row 3, and it's a right side row. So I'm going to start off with 3 garter stitch stitches, which creates the border. Then we're going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches to get us there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on that 10th stitch there, we're going to bring the yarn round to the front, purl that stitch, take the yarn round to the back again, and then knit to the end of the row. And on the right side of the work, you really can knit to the end of the row without worrying about the garter stitch edge because it's all in knit stitch. So we're going to go up to the end of the row there. Now then, row 4 is a wrong side row. And if I could just show you there, it's quite hard to see, but there's the little purl bump that's appearing, which is that little purl stitch there. So now we're going to work row 4, which is a wrong side row. So here we are on the wrong side for row 4. It's a wrong side, the 4 is on the left hand side, which means we work from left to right. So we're going to do our 3 stitches of garter stitch with knit, and then we're going to switch around to purl and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purl stitches. Here there are dashes in our little key, and a dash when it's on the purl row means these are knit stitches. So let's get started. I shall start off with my 3, 1, 2, 3 stitches for the garter stitch border, and then bring the yarn around to the front, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9th stitch has a dash in it, so that is going to be the reverse of the purl. It's going to be a knit, purl, knit here. So we're going to take the yarn round to the back, knit, bring it round to the front, purl, take it round to the back, knit, and then bring it round to the front again to purl the rest of those to the last 3 stitches. So we'll just purl those. Bring it around to the back and knit the last 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's turn it around and see the start of that point of the star appearing. And there it is, you can just see it there. So let's work row 5. Now row 5 is a right side row, and it's pretty much the same as row 4 in terms of contrast. So we're going to do our 3 stitches of garter, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're on the right side row, so these 2 dashes mean that that's reversed. So that's going to be a purl, knit, purl, and then back to knit. This does produce such a nice texture. It's really fun. So we do 3 stitches, whoopsie, of the garter stitch border, and then we're going to knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're here, and that is going to be a reverse. It's going to be a purl, knit, purl. So I'm going to bring the yarn to the front, purl, take it round to the back, knit, bring it round to the front, purl, round to the back again, and then knit to the end of the row. Those last 3 stitches. And if I show you here, you can see that little pattern emerging. Let's have a look at row 6. Now row 6 is a wrong side row, so we're on the wrong side here. And so we have 3 stitches of garter stitch, knit stitch over here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 purls. And then here we're doing the alternate thing, so a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. So I'm going to begin with the 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then bring the yarn around to the front for a purl. And then so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 purl stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we're going to work knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. So I'm going to take my yarn round to the back of the work and we're going to work knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and then I'm going to bring the yarn up to the front and we're going to purl all the way to the last 3 stitches for the border. So I'll just purl along. To get to those last 3 stitches. There we are. I'm going to put my yarn around to the back and knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There is our star appearing, and if we just have a look at the next row, row 7, it's the same stitches that are reversed, but we're working from the right to the left because we're on a right side row and the 7 is over here on the right hand side. So I'm going to knit 3 garter stitches, try saying that after a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 knit stitches, and then we start the texture. So 1, 2, 3, that's our garter stitch row, and our garter stitch ridge, sorry, and then 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then here we are. We're on a right side row, so these dashes are reversed, they're going to be purls. So we're going to knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. So I'm going to bring my yarn to the front. We're going to purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then I'm going to knit to the last 3 stitches and then knit the last 3. So we work to the side. Last 3. Let's stretch it out and have a look. Right, so you can see here that the point of the star is forming, and I'll just bring the swatch over so you can see it here. And if you look at the way that this star is constructed, we've almost got 2 rows of each of the same stitches being affected, and so that it makes a solid star. So from here you just need to work the rest of these rows, and then when you get to the end of this little bit of action up here, 3 rows of stocking stitch or stockinette, and then 4 rows of garter stitch before you cast off. And that is how we work this chart. You might find it really helpful. I mean, I've just gone over the dashes, but if you're printing off your charts, you might want to actually put K's and P's for knits and purls so that you know what you're doing as you go up the chart. But that's all you need to do, is on each row, on a knit row, you reverse the dashes to purls, and on a purl row, you reverse the dashes to knits. And that is how we work this lovely star. So that's your star. Absolutely gorgeous. You just need to knit as many of these as you need. And don't forget, all the pattern details are below in the description. Happy knitting!